Okay, hey everyone. Today we're going to be talking about another fund that could potentially beat ULTY and YMAX. This is a YieldMax fund that helps us live financially free from a 9 to 5. We're earning over $800,000 per year in dividends thanks to YieldMax and these funds. And we're outperforming the markets in the process. We're up 19% for the year. The last video you saw, we were up 16%, but we had a strong bounce back thanks to some of the vehicles that we'll discuss in today's video. We're up 19% for the year. Today we're up 12,000, but that's not important. It's about the percentage. We're at 0.59. And when you factor back in my margin, we're beating the S&P and the Dow. We're right in between the NASDAQ and the S&P, and that's exactly how we like it, because you don't want too much NASDAQ exposure. Of course, that's too much volatility in a down market. So we're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts using YieldMax and margin. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, Unconventional Wealth Ideas, where we talk more about our FIRE community and the e-guides that I offer, okay? Also, you can check out my About Me here. You see the article I was featured in Bloomberg, ringing the bell with YieldMax in New York. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to talk about another fund that could potentially beat YieldMax and ULTY. And really quickly, while I have you on my margin amount here, which is $517,000, I'm not worried about my margin rates because I've negotiated my rates down twice. When you buy my e-guides, you get my number and Discord access for life. So that's when I send you the script for negotiating your rates down. But I had to cancel that last week. I had to make the deadline for Sunday, okay, because I was getting inundated with calls. I have over 150 text messages here that I still have to get to. I got to about 50 this morning, and a lot of those members saw that message, and I wanted to welcome in my new members, okay? And I have SMS members, and I have all kinds of other members. Some members don't even leave their name when they send me their number. So please bear with me while I get you all your scripts. Also, I'm raising prices on my e-guides by Sunday, okay? I'm sorry for the deadlines, but I am just inundated now with all these phone calls. I think, again, I pigeonholed myself giving my number and Discord out for free when I started this channel, but that was when this channel was new and everyone thought margin was taboo. Now you can see we've gotten 50% gains in each of the last 2 years that I was here on YouTube, and a lot of my members can attest to their performance as well. So members, leave your comments in the chat if you think that this has been a good experience for you and that it's okay if I raise my prices, because you know, we've served thousands of members. We have over 2,000 members here in our Discord community, and I've given everyone my phone number and Discord access. Y'all always have that for life. Y'all are grandfathered in, okay? Y'all always have my number, but I'm going to have to start doing things to reclaim my time here. And that's just growing pains of this channel, okay? Y'all were here with me at the beginning when we started this, you know, from the ground floor. So anyway, I really appreciate my members. Leave those comments in the chat once again. And we'll get into the 3 reasons why this fund, okay, is potentially better than ULTY and YMAX to retire early on. Okay, so the first thing that I need to mention is that ULTY is a great fund and it's been helping us outperform. As you can see today, we're up $12,000 and ULTY is down 0.6. So even with ULTY, okay, we watch our position size in it, and that's why we're up so much today. Even with Bitcoin down or ULTY down, we still tend to outperform. That's why we're up 19% for the year, because of our mix of funds. And I mix ULTY with this other fund, okay? ULTY and YMAX, okay? Look at YMAX is down 0.11 today. All right. Now, another thing you need to understand is that these have high maintenance, okay? So here's the fund. It's OARC, okay? But I'm going to give you 3 reasons why OARC is potentially better than ULTY or YMAX, or how you should incorporate it in your portfolio if you would like to hear my reasons behind owning OARC and how I do it completely. So OARC is 30% maintenance, okay, at E-Trade, which is a godsend, and a lot of my members know that. They follow me and they own OARC and they follow my portfolio in the members only section. So ULTY is 50% maintenance, okay? ULTY, it's so great, everyone loves it, but it's 50% maintenance. And YMAX is 50% maintenance. All right, so y'all thought YMAX was the safest, and we talked about in the last video how it has some new holdings that are kind of questionable. And so, you know, is it safer than OARC now? Because let's go look at the holdings of OARC once again, but let me just show you, if you're just now joining this live, once again, OARC, the secret here is 30% maintenance. This is how we're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts. It's preserving our equity, okay? We have 1.6 million. For every $1 you put in, you get $4 of purchasing power, okay? And so I'm going to talk about OARC today and how it potentially beats those, and also just how to use it to get maximum outperformance, okay? So we're not at over 4 million in purchasing power because we use a lot of margin. As you can see here, again, we're at 517,000 in debt. But this doesn't show up on a credit check. This is not bad debt. I can click sell at any time and these positions are gone. But why do it when I have an arbitrage opportunity with my dividend yields versus the margin interest that I'm charged, which is under 5%. Also, again, this doesn't show up on a credit check. And life is hard. You know, why not use debt to get ahead? And lastly, my dividends pay back my margin debt in less than a year. These dividends of over 800,000 per year will pay back my margin debt, and my leverage goes away, my risk goes away. The only risk would be in the indexes and holdings themselves, not with margin. And so that's how I like to do it with margin. And so once again, the key to using margin is maintenance. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in volume 3. So OARC is a godsend. It's 30% maintenance. Now, other members here, and not just members, but subscribers who watch my channel say, well, we got low maintenance over here at Robinhood or Interactive Brokers. Yes, that's true, but you can't just buy a bunch of something just because it has low maintenance, okay? And OARC, it's not like because it's 30% maintenance, I'm just buying a ton of it. It just means that when I do buy it, in proportion to my other holdings, it just means that I can live financially free out of my account. I can swipe my E-Trade card and go wherever I want in this world, okay? I can swipe my card and withdraw out of my account, and even though I have margin debt, I just add to it and my dividends pay back at the end of the month, at the end of the week. And with OARC, I get to withdraw more out of my account and never worry about a margin call, which we never even got close to during the last few corrections. I always get comments about that. So please go see my past videos and see how I made it through the recent tariff crash and how we made it through 2023, okay? All these times we made it through the market with flying colors. We outperformed the NASDAQ the entire time, even with margin. So you can live freely out of your account with margin. I wouldn't be scared of margin, okay? I would be scared of the holdings that you have in your account and how much you have of those holdings. All right, so OARC, we just laid out the fact that it's 30% maintenance, and it's a secret to using YieldMax at E-Trade, okay? And we already talked about other brokers and the situation there with lower maintenance. Don't buy too much of something just because something is low maintenance. Okay, now that's the first reason why OARC is better than ULTY, better than YMAX. I can put more in it. Even though I don't, I could put more in it. I'm going to lay out the strategy that I use with OARC in 1 second. So the second reason why OARC is better than, potentially better than ULTY and YMAX is because OARC gives you days gains, of course. Look at this. Look at the chart. From here, from 675 to 9, okay, 918, okay, whatever it is, just call it 9. Call it from 7 to 9, okay, over a 20% move with a 50% dividend. All right, if you go to OARC's website, you see here a 50% yield, and you see that it has many exciting holdings that we want to own, okay? And look at this return since inception, 39%. All right, so what's everyone talking about when it comes to, you know, OARC being inferior? I remember when it first came out, this is one of the first Yieldmax funds that came out. Everyone was trashing OARC, but I've been in it, you know, all along, and it's been really helping me get extra outperformance in my account, especially when I use it with these other techniques that I'll share with you in 1 second. So here is ULTY, which has an 85% dividend. Yes, it's more than OARC, of course. It's almost double what OARC is. And look at its return since inception here on the website, 7%. So, I mean, it was started later than OARC, of course. So OARC, though, you got to love that performance, okay? OARC, you know, with a 50% yield, okay, performance 39%, and it's right in the sweet spot with, you know, ULTY has a 90% yield, 80% yield. YMAX, in comparison, has a 72% yield currently. Okay, I've seen it lower. Okay, so keep that in mind that it's going to be a little bit lower than ULTY, of course, YMAX, and then Misty OARC is in the 50s. Okay, and you know, I think YMAX is even closer to the 50s in some occasions. Okay, so we have a sweet spot here with OARC forming, okay? Not only does it have a 50% yield, but look at YMAX's chart, okay? YMAX, it does not move up much, okay? Look at the ULTY chart, does not move up much capital gains wise. But again, you have OARC, which moves up much more, 20% plus a 50% yield. So you could argue a 70% return right there from the lows. And that's phenomenal. Okay, now OARC is very special. This is how we get our capital gains. And it's up today, 1%. So this is where we're getting our outperformance. Cornerstone is also up 1%. What do you know? So we're up 13,000 today, 0.63 with margin. We're beating the S&P, right in between the S&P and the NASDAQ, again, which is exactly what you want. And we're up 19%. So tomorrow we'll be up, about 1% more. So we'll be up a little over 20%. And this is because we get our day's gains. So this didn't come from dividends yesterday and today. This is from day's gains. The other day we were up 35,000 earlier this week. And that was from the triple C's, obviously, because even if Cornerstone's flat, like today it's up 1%, beating the S&P, but we had our triples as well, okay? The triple C's, that's how I really get my day's gains, okay? For more on how I get my day's gains, that's in volume 7, my massive day's gains. The ability to get not only your dividends, okay, which, those are a lot of the dividend funds that we own, but to get our capital gains, the day's gains, that's something really special. And again, I talk all about that in volume 7. So Cornerstone, this is the main fund that I invest in, by the way, with OARC. I mean, these are top holdings of mine, and OARC gives you the day's gains along with Cornerstone. Look at this chart from bottom to top right here, and look at this chart in Cornerstone from bottom to top. Except Cornerstone gives you a 20% yield, and it drips that yield down at the NAV, which makes it competitive with OARC. Okay, so we have a 20% yield in Cornerstone, plus every month you get 20% gains on top of that. So members, I know that I'm redundant and I'm repetitive when it comes to our style of investing, but investing shouldn't be drastically changed every day. You should have the same system every day, and you just take what you're given in the market, add to things, take away from things, rebalance things, and you want to just have a system that you can easily manage. All right, and so we know that this is the system with margin, with Yieldmax, with Cornerstone, and we know that Cornerstone is part of the system because it's the only thing that's indexed with a high enough yield. It beats SPYI, it beats JP, JEPI, it beats all those other closed-end funds and low income funds, in my opinion, because it's 20%. You saw the run from bottom to top, and it has this drip at NAV. Nothing else has this drip at NAV that I know of, okay? Nothing that's indexed. All right, and so with Cornerstone, you just play it properly around the rights offerings. That's what we preach here at this channel. Okay, look at this drop. This drop was not the market. It was the N2 filing, which we alert you of in Discord. Okay, this is what's so special when you buy my e-guides. You get Discord for life, which is a chat room that has over 2,000 members in it. We're all here pursuing the FIRE lifestyle, but it also gives you that drop alert for Cornerstone. So when Cornerstone is going to drop, we get the N2 filing, as you can see right here, and that precedes the RO filing, which you can learn all about in my Volume 4 e-guide. So we're getting our day's gains with Cornerstone and with OARC, okay? Is this a video about Cornerstone? No, it's not. Do I get paid from any of these funds? No, I do not. Just sharing what works with me, with you, okay? What works for me, I'm sharing it with you, and I'm keeping myself accountable, and this is a lot to keep in every day, okay? All these dividends that I earn, all these days gains that we're capable of getting with these funds that we use, like with the triple C's, like with OARC, like with Cornerstone. This is what's so exciting, and yeah, I'm living free, but I have all this energy because of this, and I want to help all my members, okay? And now we've built a great community. And again, it's over 2,000 on Discord, and this is just such a close-knit community. It's, this is my extended family, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it every day with you guys and gals. All right, so I can't wait to get to your chat here. We'll get to all the questions in 1 second. All right, so, I hope there wasn't some drop-off in my video because I mentioned OARC as being the competitor to ULTY and YMAX. I'm going to give you 3 reasons. I just gave you 2, and I'm also going to share with you how I use it to get ahead, okay, in this market. And, so it's not really a debate of which is better, although they all have their place in your portfolio. It's how you use them to get ahead. And so, again, look at these capital gains with OARC, all right? It doesn't give you the ability to time it like Cornerstone does around an N2 filing, okay? But that's why I like Cornerstone. It's how I went from 15,000 to $1 million. It's because I could use the maintenance in Cornerstone, which is 30%, put all my money in it at the time, make 100% return like it did in 2021, go check out the chart, and then you reset all of your gains around the RO. And if you do this a couple of times, you can make a killing in the market. You could make more than what it did versus the S&P. Look at Cornerstone here on Morningstar, 4-star fund, okay, and it looks like it's in line with the S&P, right? Cornerstone, 4-star fund here, been around since the 80s, top close-end fund. But you could have done way better had you just bought more around the RO time. And this is like a layup, in my opinion, buying around the RO thresholds, the RO premiums versus selling at the premium thresholds. I mean, it's like clockwork, okay? So all that, again, is found in volume 4. And you can see our Discord for how everyone plays it in the Cornerstone discussion only channel, okay? That's separate from the announcement only channel. When you buy my e-guides and you come to Discord, you ask, where am I supposed to start? Just watch your announcement only channel. Okay, that's the big one. Okay, also my portfolio recap channel. All right, okay, so that's the second reason. All right, first reason, OARC has low maintenance. Okay, second reason, look, it moves better on the chart than YMAX and ULTY. All right, sometimes OARC's up 1%, 2% in an up day. YMAX is flat, okay, or only up 1%. OARC can beat it. Look, YMAX again is down today. Even though we are up 12,000, we could be up a lot more, but ULTY and YMAX are dragging on our performance. So why not get your performance from both sides, okay? Capital gains and dividends, okay? And if everyone's wondering what this day's gains, this loss is right here, that's simply just when I'm trimming things around highs and lows. I rebalance my positions, even to my members who follow my portfolio trades. I'm not making any major moves today. When I sell a little bit of some high up lot just to rebalance back to a core position, of course, I take from losses, okay? So that's for tax loss harvesting reasons. But we're up today 12,000. And whenever I sell from something, I try to sell from things that have a loss. And a lot of people will look at my account and say, look at ULTY, you're down 10,000 in the position, okay? If I show you, for example, my position in ULTY, you would see 10,000 negative, okay? It's higher up in the portfolio. If you want to see my whole portfolio, just join my portfolio here. It's under memberships and YouTube at any time. So ULTY, yes, we're down 10,000, but we got 10,000 back in dividends, so you're not really down that much, okay? And then when you use margin, you're getting more income, which is actually paying down your margin even faster every time we reinvest in ULTY. And so it's lowering our risk even faster. It's lowering our break-even point faster. And it's like a dividend snowball machine when you have all these funds working together to pay down your margin. Now, every time I add new margin, it gets paid down even faster thanks to ULTY, because it's a dividend that's supercharged. Whereas OARC is 50%, so it's paying down my margin pretty well, but it's giving me the day's gains that I need today to offset that erosion that you see, 1%. So important. It's beating YMAX today. It's beating ULTY today. And I've even mentioned to Marcos in the past, he mentioned it in some of his videos, like, what is Todd's favorite funds? Obviously, I know I like Cornerstone, but OARC, okay, 30% maintenance, just like with Cornerstone. Okay, and then also, how I use OARC to get ahead is I sell puts on ARKK. All right, now, I go in and out of them. You don't see ARKK puts here because I like to sell puts at the lows, but you can see here that I sell puts. And for example, I sell puts on BitX, sell puts on semiconductors, small caps, the Dow Jones. These puts help lower my margin by 50 to 100,000. Okay, you can see here my margin's been dropped by over 50,000 just from clicking a mouse when I sell puts. This is the best way, in my opinion, to get ahead in investing. I don't give financial advice, but I'm just sharing what works with me. And this is the lowest risk way for me to get my performance and lower my margin at the same time, lower my margin interest. I sell naked puts. And so that actually lowers my maintenance in many cases. This QQY maintenance is only 20%. All right. So I'm actually using my equity to sell these put options the most conservative way to get your income, in my opinion, because I'm controlling the indexes like everyone else, but I'm selling the options instead naked, so I don't have to own them. I don't have the risk. And then if we get a sign at the lows, great. We make much more money on the way up when we get those capital gains that I'm so accustomed to preaching about, okay, and I'm so accustomed to getting. It's from these sold puts, okay, if we get a sign. If we don't get a sign, which is rare, we hardly ever get a sign in these because they're so conservative, well, then we make our premiums, and we keep the premiums. Instead, we keep the 50,000, and then our account grows by 50,000 towards expiration. Or you can take the gains in between, then look at these gains. We just sell time. We just let the positions go by. Let time go by, and you're up 6,000 in BidX. I could take the 6,000 now, or I could just take the 19,000 or whatever it is, 18,000 here, by expiration. All right, so, but my key is I like performance. I like keeping them on, so I keep the performance on. But I talk all about how I use my puts in volume 6 if you need more help selling options, getting more performance out of your account safely. All right, so that's how I actually get more performance out of OARC. Again, I sell puts on ARKK. Why wouldn't anyone want to be invested in ARKK? A fourth reason. I had 3 reasons for y'all, but I actually have 5. Okay, the fourth reason why you should be invested in ARKK, which is the underlying for OARC. Look at the holdings. It has what ULTY has and what everyone's so crazy for, okay, which are Bitcoin holdings. You know, for example, we have Robinhood, we have, you know, Palantir, the AI craze, we have Tesla, we have Coinbase, Roblox, Roku. So I've always wanted ARKK in the form of dividends, especially in 2022 when it was going sideways with lower interest rates now. That's really helping the market cap, you know, these kinds of market cap companies. And so if we keep getting lower rates, this is going to be a tailwind for OARC, okay, and ARKK. And you don't want to miss out on these massive capital gains that you can get out of ARKK. ARKK flew during 2021, okay? ARKK had a massive move up. Look at this move. Okay, it already moved up to 73, but look on a 5-year chart. It was at 150. So this thing is capable of huge moves, especially if interest rates are lower. And so, you know, it's primed for more beta, more growth in your account. It primes your account for that. And then you play it through OARC to get your income and days gains. And then you can sell puts on ARKK like I just described. Okay, and that's how you get the maximum performance out of ARKK. And again, it has those holdings that you want, all right? You know, they're competitive with, you know, owning a YMAX or an ULTY, okay? A lot of those exciting holdings within them are here, okay? So that's the fourth reason. Fifth reason, you get exposure to Tesla, which is 9% of its holdings, which is, you know, a granny shot for Tom Lee, and it's a play on AI and automation, and it's a big-time index play. Tesla is a top 10 holding in the indexes, okay? So you're getting index performance as well, a good amount of index performance with ARKK, simply because Tesla is top 10, is a top 10 holding, a top holding at 10%. I know I've talked about OARC in the past, but it never gets enough love, and I wanted to give you all 5 reasons here. You can also hedge OARC. Here's a 6th reason. You can, you know, why OARC is currently better to use potentially to retire on than ULTY or YMAX. You can hedge OARC with SARK, okay? And SARK actually has a dividend, or at least it used to have one. You know, please go double check that. But it used to have a 10% dividend. So you can hedge it with SARK. Here, look, it shows a 37% yield. I don't know if that's true. Go double check. You can hedge with SARK, unlike with YMAX. It doesn't have a pure hedge, and ULTY doesn't have a pure hedge yet. It will have salty, but we don't know if it's going to be out at all because Yieldmax and them do not like having short vehicles. People think that the charts look nasty and the erosion is so bad that it detracts people from buying them. But I hope that they do release salty, because I'm going to keep making videos about how I'm living financially free out of my brokerage account, and I need those vehicles to do it with, okay? And as I believe in my account, I make these videos. It comes through in my voice because I believe in my account and my way of life, okay? I feel like it's the best way in life to get ahead, using a brokerage with margin, because it requires no credit check. Everyone can do it. Anyone can have a brokerage account, and you don't need to have much to start, okay? 2,000 gives you times 2, and an E-Trade 25,000 gives you times 4. All right, so I just gave you a whole bunch of other reasons. If you also want all of my other hedges and how I hedge my other holdings within my account, including with options, see volume 5. All right, so we're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts, again, using Yieldmax and margin. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. We're beating all of the indexes, and you can do this too. Anyone can do this. Just use margin and the holdings within your account properly, okay? All these Yieldmax holdings and Cornerstone, OARC, combine them properly. I show you how to do it all. You get my phone number, and you get Discord access for life when you buy my e-guides. And don't forget, I'm raising my prices by Sunday, okay? It's just a travesty that I have silver, for example, at 200. All right, I can't even the amount of time it takes to service all these requests and deal with all these members, which are great. I love all my members, but the amount of time it takes to get to all of them is not even worth the 200 when it comes to taxes that I have to pay and everything. So everything is going up $100. Okay. Every bundle is going up 100 at least. No, not at least. Every bundle is going up $100 for now. Okay. I started raising prices early on when I started YouTube, after I had my first wave of success and members saw how successful the strategies were for them. And now as demand has just overloaded me, now I have to raise prices again. But again, I think my members would support me on all of this. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the chat. See if I have any questions that I'm missing here. Hey, Frosty. Hey, Chris. Thanks to all my admin, Frosty, Jetta, Ray, Gaines, and Hashor. Okay, Hashor, I never talk enough about him. He's very good with Cornerstone. He's a very wealthy investor, and he's in our Discord chat room if you ever need help seeing how he plays Cornerstone. All right, and Frosty and Jetta, y'all just make my life so much easier at Discord. I can't ever thank y'all enough. Okay, thank you for making it an enjoyable experience for everyone. Hey, Chris. Hey, Fenrir. Let's go. Jadon, all right. Thanks for joining, Jadon. Good to see you. I hope I'm saying your name right. Matt, thanks for being here, Matt. Hey, Justin, waiting for TSP withdrawal to deposit in my E-Trade so I can supercharge my dividends. Hey, awesome, Justin. I'm excited for you. Hey, Snock. Hey, Flux. Hey, Phil. Hey, Fox. Probably have to go soon, but figured you say hey. Thanks for dropping in, Fox. Hey, Joe, what's going on? Hope all's good. Shorts still at normal allocations? Yes, they are, Joe. I rebalanced them. I mentioned that to all members. I rebalanced them back to the 2K position, which I talk about in Volume 7. Not only how we get the long exposure and those days gains, but also how we hedge and the percentages that I keep of those longs and shorts. So I have rebalanced those, Joe, and that's about it for now, okay? And we're going to talk on Friday which funds are on the chop block in case we need to deleverage further, okay? And still bounce back stronger and outperform the entire time like we did during the recent crash. Hey, Darren. Hey, Brian. Hey, Big C. Hey, Wayne. It might not be an outperformance the entire time, Joe. Maybe by a % or two the NASDAQ has us, but then we'll come back just like we did during the recent correction. But I think we had the NASDAQ beat the entire time, even with over 400 grand of margin. Wayne, good afternoon. Big C, I responded to your text today. All right. Sorry it took so long. I was inundated with those text requests for the scripts. Hey, Titan. Hey, Maddie. Joe, bro, it's time for you to get a team. I know, it's just me. This is all me. When y'all email me, it's all me. I've been doing this. It was, I had a few members a day that would message me and talk to me when we started out, but now it's just insane, and there's no way to do it, okay? No other way to do it except like this. Let's go, Theo. Absolutely. Tasher, yes, Todd, you need to be there for your family. Trust me, they grow up way too fast. I know. That's what I'm saying. And YouTube has been great. Being there for all of my members is great, but have to have a balance. Hey, Hal. Yeah, the old flame. That's right. OARC. That's right. Hal. It's always been one of my better holdings. Hey, Ikaika. Aloha. Kelly, Daniel, Dan, Flux. Schwab is the exact opposite. ULTY is 30% and OARC is 50%, but I still like OARC. Yeah, even with that maintenance, Flux, and great comment, it's still giving you those days gains, and all those, all the exposure to all those themes that we really want. Ikaika, aloha. You've gotten great value since becoming a member. Thank you, Ikaika. I appreciate that, brother. Mahalo. Hey, Steph, welcome. Thanks for joining, Steph. Okay. I appreciate you, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, Aaron. Hey there, Victor, Brian. I agree with OARC. I also really like QQY because it's 30% maintenance as well with nearly 40% yield. Exactly, Brian. That's why we had that's why we have QQQY at such a high weighting because of that low maintenance. And it used to sell puts. I don't know if they've changed it. It says they've changed it in the prospectus, but yesterday the market was down and it was actually up, which was nice. And they sell puts, which means they raise dividends in a down market. That was a very important tool to have in our portfolio. After you factor back in dividends, the chart looks much different, doesn't it, with QQY? Hey, Craig, ULTY is 30% maintenance at Schwab. That's excellent, Greg. Yes, but you still don't want to put too much money in something like that because, today, as you can see, the market's up 1% and it's down. So, you want to make sure you're getting capital gains too. And if you had all your money in it because of that low maintenance, you could see a big drop in a down market. And also on an up market, you might not get, again, that day's gains ability, which is how I'm getting my outperformance, is with these dividends, 800,000 plus days gains. Okay, so thank you, Freddie. I see that message. Thank you, Freddie. I'll get to you right after. Hey, Paul. Hello from Tahiti. Okay, hey. Glad you can make it, Paul. All right, let me know how that trip went, okay? You are one of the best world travelers I know, okay? I really admire you for that. Have a safe trip, Paul. Tasher, Schwab's 30% for ULTY. Right. And we just, commented on that. Great point, Tasher. And I hope I'm saying that right. Tasher. Greg, YMAX is 50% maintenance for Schwab. That's right, 50% maintenance. And I hear Schwab is having higher maintenance, for the month or something like that. So just be aware, keep your position sizes small. YMAX is 50 at E-Trade as well. Hey, Breadman, Greg, Schwab drip CLM at NAV2. Exactly. Schwab, E-Trade, and Fidelity. They are the ones that I know of that drip at NAV with all the other bells and whistles that you want. Of course, visit our Discord if you ever want more help on each broker, because we have a brokerage specifics channel there. Okay, great point, Greg. Dan, I've noticed just like with MSTW, just wait for these to level out, as the initial launches is where they figure things out, just like ULTY was. Yeah, Dan, give them time to work on these funds and they'll make improvements. I have faith in them. Columbia, I've added OARC as part of my small cap blend with IWMI RDT to get a nice balance. Exactly, Columbia. Yeah, definitely. Those RDT is also a big secret to what we do, right? Because it's 30% maintenance, and even with a lower yield that it has than let's say an ULTY, it's giving us good Russell exposure, which is cheaper than the other indexes, just return wise, total return wise. Hey Jerry, great day to you, sir. Hey Chris, Freddie, I want to buy the books today. I went on the website, but it's buying each individual is like $400 now. I want in today before the price goes up, Freddie. Thank you, Freddie. Yeah, just buy any bundle. And you would, for example, volume 7 or the platinum bundle is all guides 1 through 7. Sorry, I can't speak properly. So 1 through 7 is platinum with my number in Discord, of course, for life, which isn't going to be there forever. I promise. My number for life. Even Discord's free for life, and that's an amazing thing. Because there's so much information, so much valuable information on how I get loans, how we get loans, how to play Cornerstone, how to play all these other funds within it, options. We have everything you can think of there at that Discord. But the most important thing is the rights offering announcement and the N2 filing. Those are the most important features of Discord, in my opinion. Because even I missed the N2 filing, okay? And then I saw the alert on Discord, and then all my members texted me, so we all were in the loop together, and so we were able to sell after hours during that drop, okay? And if you missed that for whatever reason, again, that's what the SMS was created for, and I can text you that RO alert as well. Cap gains. For those just building our portfolio, is there a core basket of holdings we can focus on even if we miss out on a few points of performance? I have a hard time keeping track of so many. Yes, cap gains, I would say follow the top 10 to 30 in my portfolio, then bolt on the rest as you grow, the smaller ones. But I would say cap gains, that those are important too, those smaller ones, because they were green on down days. They give you that diversification that you need on a down day, which you saw in those videos. Great question, Cap. Justin, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, everyone, please like and subscribe. All right. And remember, I keep not only is that how I get ahead with OARC, but I keep OARC in between ULTY and my triples, but it's still lower than, let's say, a Cornerstone and even YMAX. Okay, because OARC can definitely have huge down moves. And YMAX has some stability in it, but it does have those more speculative names in it now. But it has a lot of names, YMAX. So I'm able to get away with a little bit more in YMAX than OARC, okay? On a down day. OARC can have big drawdowns. Just like, I would say, on the last down day, you saw OARC was down 5. YMAX was down 3. ULTY was down 2. Just to keep, everything in perspective. Mike, would you keep OARC? But then again, OARC bounces back more as well, right? Okay. Mike, would you keep OARC and SARC at similar amounts in your account? No, I would not. I've tried that before, Mike. It's just a waste of money, okay? Waste of equity because SARC is 100% maintenance. Thank you, Black. Great question, Mike. R, what's up? Jay, it looks like we can buy STRC on E-Trade. Any temptation on selling everything and just buying STRC? I don't know what that is, but let me know what STRC is. Okay. Kelly, totally worth the price increase. Really appreciate Todd sharing his knowledge. Thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate that. All right. Thanks for that comment. Snomp. Todd, the value you provide is worth so much. I went from 0 to 100K in less than a year. Don't feel bad about raising your prices. They are still very fair and affordable. A steal even. Thank you, Snog. I agree. All right. This whole time I felt like it's been a steal, but I wanted to build that credibility because everyone thought margin was so taboo. But now you've seen the proof that we've had, with our results the last 2 years. We've been up. We already talked about that in this video, but go check out my wall. We've been up 50% each of the last 2 years at one point. All right, and my members can attest that it works for them. So thank you for leaving these comments, members. Wayne, Panda, these are public videos. That's right. Chris, it's fun seeing Todd's portfolio was around 100K about a year ago. It's now at 700K in dividends. Right. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, all thanks to Yieldmax, Defiance, Roundhill, and Cornerstone on margin, of course. Hey, Henrik, learn more in 2 weeks joining the program than 2 years of investing. Thank you, Henrik. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. Thank you. Aaron, good job, Henrik. That's right. Great job, Henrik. The Gormless Twit, and I hope I'm saying your name right. Chris Churchill, 7 times in 1 year, I'm in. Well, I mean, it wasn't with all skill. It was with these high yields, right? But we're getting the returns, which takes the skill, in my opinion. Those returns of 19%, which you see right now, the market's up 5 or 6. Chris, 1, maybe 2. Rahat, hello, everyone. Aaron, Journey, FI, he has spent his own time and knowledge with this. You're telling us he shouldn't receive anything for that? It isn't even expensive. Thank you, Aaron. I know, right? Thank you so much, Aaron. This stuff is ridiculously cheap in my opinion, and now time is the most important commodity, so I have to watch that. I have to have a balance. At first I wanted to just make sure I was there for all my members and keep myself accountable. And I'm still here. Like anytime my members need something, I'm always here. I can't help it. I have to be there for them, but I can't be there for more and more people as we grow exponentially here. So again, y'all will be grandfathered in forever, Aaron and everyone else who bought my guides. But eventually I have to raise prices, and then eventually I have to even take away my phone number. All right. That's gotta happen soon. Victor, what's the biggest top 5 holding of OARC? You saw, Victor, great question, that it was Tesla. Okay, I showed you the top 5 holdings just a second ago. Please go see those holdings. Ikaika, Journey, in response to Journey's message, he says, 20 years of experience condensed into an easy-to-read e-guide, worth every penny to me. Thank you, Ikaika. Again, mahalo. Mahalo nui, all right? I hope I'm saying that right. Omni Plus Furniture. I also like XYLG, 22% monthly payer, 4-star Morningstar rating, capital gains, 30% maintenance. Hey, great find. I would say, I'm just going to say furniture, okay? I'm going to say plus. I'm going to call you plus. That's what we'll call you. XYLG, 22%. That would be a great candidate to add to the portfolio. The only reason why I might not is because to get 20% of my dollars competing for 20% yield, to get my dollars to compete for that, Cornerstone holds that, it wins that slot, okay? And if I'm going to put more of my equity behind 20%, it really needs to blow me away. And what I like about Cornerstone is the RO opportunity and the drip at NAV. There are other 20% vehicles now, like an SPYT or QQQT, for example, but they don't have those perks that Cornerstone has. But great recommendation plus, and we'll look at adding that in as a small part of the portfolio. Freddie, hey, I just found it and made my purchase platinum. Yeah, I saw you, Freddie. Okay, I got your alert right here. Okay, I'll get to you as soon as this video is over. Thank you, Freddie. Aaron, does that drip at NAV? No, it doesn't. That's the thing. I would assume. I would be willing to bet. Paula, Todd, I'm so grateful to you. You've given me the confidence to go all in. Thank you, Paula. Of course, you're not going all in on one fund, of course, but yes, having confidence to buy dips in the market, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you, Paula. Christopher, Victor, Treasury notes and bills and ARC are 70, are a lot of it. Okay, so Treasury notes and T-bills, right? So that's those are part of ARKK's holdings. Of course, Aaron, you're welcome. I appreciate you. Kelly, STRC is the micro strategy preferred stock. Oh, got you, Kelly. Yeah, that would be an interesting way to play it. For me, I want the capital gains from MicroStrategy, okay? And I don't want anything muted with the preferred. And I can get the yield with other vehicles like MSII, etc. But definitely something to also cover in the future. Ophir, hey Todd, did you know that IBKR almost everything is 25% maintenance? Yes, I do, Ophir. Interactive just doesn't have the special drip at NAV, okay? That's why we are not all, at Interactive Brokers for Cornerstone, the drip at NAV feature. Cap gains, I appreciate you. Jay, STRC, right? That's a great suggestion. We'll cover that in the future. Hey Phil, it's a no-brainer. The best Discord and strategy investments. Thanks again, Todd. You're welcome, Phil. Yeah, Phil, all of my members, you're very close to me, and I know that we were speaking not too long ago, and especially people you've recommended to me. So thank you so much, Phil. And to all my members, I just want to say once again, I thank you, and I really appreciate y'all being a part of this journey with me, okay? We're outperforming all of the indexes. We're up 19% for the year. The S&P is only up 4%. The Nasdaq's only up 4%. So we're doing this together, all right, living free out of our brokerage accounts, which can't happen out of a Roth or an IRA because you get penalized, and you get the margin here, which those don't offer either. And I tell you about how to use margin and all these other funds in my e-guides, okay? Email me at akintai48@gmail.com or head to my website, Unconventional Wealth Ideas. All right, I hope you like this video, okay? I'll be doing another members-only video on Friday, so I'll see my members there. And if y'all have any questions in the meantime, give me a call, okay? I love you all so much. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. You're welcome, R. Oh, okay, I got you, R.